Hey, Tottenham fans, welcome to another video here on the channel. Your space dedicated to the North London giant, Tottenham Hotspur. Here we follow everything, cheer together, and also seriously analyze what happens behind the scenes at our beloved club. Today's topic is one that divides opinion, stirs the emotions of the fans, and shows how football goes far beyond the four lines. After winning a historic title and restoring pride to the fans, Ange Postecoglou was sacked. That's right. The man who broke the 17-year trophy drought couldn't withstand a poor Premier League campaign. But what is behind this decision, and what does Daniel Levy, the club's chairman, think? We'll tell you everything now. Stay with us. The news hit like a bombshell earlier this month. Ange Postecoglou was sacked as Tottenham manager, just 2 weeks after winning the Europa League with a 1-0 victory over Manchester United. This title was the club's first since 2008, ending a 17-year drought without lifting a trophy. Even with the trophy and a guaranteed spot in the next Champions League, the board could not resist the disappointing numbers in the Premier League. The team finished in 17th place, its worst campaign since relegation in 1976-77. In a published interview, Daniel Levy, chairman of Spurs, spoke openly about the decision. According to him, firing Postecoglou was emotionally difficult but necessary. Levy pointed out that, despite his affection for the Australian coach, the club needs to be competitive on all fronts, and therefore opted for a change. Postecoglou's dismissal sparked an avalanche of reactions. On social media, some fans were outraged by the coach's departure, mainly because he was responsible for bringing back a sense of victory to the club after so long. Many fans described the decision as hasty, calling it a shot in the foot by the board. In the press, however, opinions were more divided. Some analysts, such as Jamie Carragher, pointed out that winning a trophy does not erase a season of poor performance in the National League. Others, such as Gary Lineker, highlighted the boldness of the board in letting go of a championship-winning coach, something rare in European football. The general feeling is one of shock, but also of expectation. The dismissal did not go unnoticed and reignited old criticisms of Daniel Levy's management. With Postecoglou's departure, Tottenham is preparing for a new phase. The club announced Thomas Frank, former Brentford coach, as the new manager. He will be the 5th coach in just 6 years, a number that, in itself, shows the recent instability of the sports project. Frank's mission will not be easy. He arrives with the responsibility of keeping the club competitive, consolidating a style of play, and getting the most out of a squad that showed its limitations throughout last season. In addition, he will have little time to prepare the team for the Champions League playoffs, a decisive challenge right at the start of his tenure. Behind the scenes, changes to the squad structure and specific reinforcements are expected in the coming weeks. More than ever, the fans' patience will be tested. After all, the cycle begins again. It is impossible to talk about this turnaround without focusing on Ange Postecoglou, the coach who, in a short time, managed to create a strong connection with the fans. Hired in 2023, the Australian coach surprised everyone from his first season, when he led the team to 5th place in the Premier League, a result considered promising after the instability of previous years. But it was in his second season that the climax came, winning the Europa League and breaking a nearly decade title drought. Even with difficulties in the national championship, Postecoglou managed to put together a competitive team in the cups and showed courage in maintaining an offensive style, even under pressure. His direct style, charismatic demeanor, and transparent approach to dealing with the press made him popular with many fans. Now, with his early dismissal, the feeling is that he could have delivered even more if he had been given time and support. Postecoglou's dismissal represents much more than a simple change of coach. It highlights how much Tottenham are still searching for a clear identity on and off the pitch. Winning the Europa League should have been the turning point, but the board preferred to look at performance in the domestic league as the decisive factor. It is understandable that a Premier League club demands consistency, but it is also important to recognize the progress and emotional impact of winning the title. Levy's decision, although based on results, seems to have been marked by short-term thinking, something that has been repeated in recent cycles at the club. By bringing in Thomas Frank, Tottenham is signaling an attempt at restructuring, but it still carries the burden of not allowing projects to mature. The challenge now is not to repeat the mistakes of the past, and that's it, fans. Another remarkable chapter in the recent history of our Tottenham, Postecoglou's departure, even after a historic title, shows how dynamic football is and how sometimes difficult decisions are part of building a new path. We continue together, steadfast in the hope that Thomas Frank can continue what began to change with this achievement. The club is huge, the fans are passionate, and history continues to be written with each round. If you enjoyed this content, leave a like, comment below what you think of this change in command, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. More hot news is coming, and you'll want to be in the know. See you in the next video, and come on, Spurs!